As somebody who was extremely anxious attached, it took me a while to get to secure attachment, but I didn't do it by what the books talked about. I didn't become securely attached by loving myself or feeling worthy or working on my enoughness and my value, um, setting boundaries and all of these outward actions to try to do what secure attachment people would do. It was a reclamation in my soul that needed to happen. And so in this video, I want to talk specifically if you're anxious attachment, you want to move more towards secure attachment. Number one, I've done it. Number two, I've helped hundreds of people do it as well in my courses and online trainings and everything. And I'll say this, there's a lot of bullshit advice out there on the internet around this in a similar way to, I hate to use this analogy, but like pickup back in the day. It's like the people that wrote the game and all these other things looked at what the natties, they called them, were doing and just replicate what they did. But the problem with that is it wasn't them at the purest form of their heart. And so it's manipulation at that point. So are you trying to manipulate yourself into authentic, secure attachment? You can't do that. You can't create something out of a form of manipulation. So that kind of nullifies a lot of the do this type of actions, right? Somebody who respects their body, is it because they take the actions to then respect their body, or is it from respect that they take actions? I think it is a combination of both. So it doesn't nullify completely all of the do these boundaries and work on loving yourself. And I think those are all great and fine. There's also healing your wounds, your father wounds, your mother wounds, your wounds that happen in relationship. I support my clients in that. That's still a very big part of the equation. But it does, what's overlooked, I should say, is the come from. Because are we just doing this to manipulate to then finally get somewhere? Or are we doing that out of a sense of self-respect? Are we doing this out of a sense of I love myself and so I want to heal these things? Now, more than secure attachment, the question becomes, what are you securely attached to? And I think a lot of, again, the advice that I and the way that I tried to do it for so long, I would have glimmers of secure attachment, but it wasn't staying. I would get dropped into a trigger and then I would have to work through that thing and my old self would come out. Like, that doesn't happen anymore. The triggers just aren't even there. And I'll tell you how that happened in a second, but for this bit of it, it's like when I am secure attached, think about this for yourself. Okay, I'm asking kind of rhetorically. What are you attached to? Because if you're attached to yourself, well, that's changing all the time. Hormones, circumstances in life, your mood, like your mood changes, your mindset changes, like so much changes all the time in our physical and experience of life, and emotional and mental experience of life. So why are you trying to attach within yourself? Because you're shifting and you're changing so much, right? And so I found that that's kind of a rocky foundation. So we can't really do it that way. We already know we can't really securely attach to another person because that's so unpredictable and could be not trustworthy for many reasons, right? Especially if you have trauma there, your view of what is for you and what's not is distorted because of the past and because of your body is coming from a place of mistrust and a place of hurt and a place of I don't want to get hurt again. And so even if it is something that is healthy for you, you're still going to have those fears come up. So we definitely know that's a rocky foundation. We've established there's a rocky foundation with your sense of self because that's changing all the time. You're going to have a day where you just don't feel good. And then what happens? To your sense of secure attachment. Then what happens when you start to feel that void? When you start to feel lonely? A few months in, a few weeks in. So what then can we secure attach to other than God, which is the one thing that's constant? And when I attached to God, and what I mean by that is full pursuit of God and putting God as number one in my life, my own trauma and my own secure attachment stuff began to just nullify and dissolve and go away. Why? Because I'm building a relationship with perfect love. He who is perfect love. And so I understand in my body what it's like to receive a perfect love. So now, because I've received it and I've tasted the real thing, I can then give it, because you can't give what you don't have. And so, and a lot of my seeking stopped because I'm seeking God. So my seeking from other humans just completely went out the window. Now that did take a lot of time, but over time, reading the word, being in prayer, being in worship, and submitting my life to God, my old trauma triggers just aren't there anymore. And that's because of what happens when we are in divine relationship with God and positioning ourselves in a certain way around love. Because if we can, again, if we can receive a perfect love, well, then we can give it. But, if you would have told me that a year ago, I would have told you I was giving a perfect love. But it wasn't, because of all of my triggers that were coming up and a lot of the ways that I was acting so that you wouldn't leave me, so that this thing could happen. And it was a form of manipulation. A lot of secure attachment and codependent patterns are manipulative. And if you just look at it black and white, I'm doing something so that something else happens or doesn't happen. That's manipulation. Unconditional love is just an offering. It's just a gift. And that's what we should go into relationship with, is just an offering and a gift. But if we're going in it to get, it gets distorted, would be the word. So then how do you do this? I mean, plain and simple, start connecting more with God. The more that you connect with God, the better understanding you're going to have of perfect love. The better then you'll be able to just give it, because what God's going to do in your heart through the connection with Him. And I'm not talking about religion. I'm talking about a relationship. Big difference. And so then I'm, secure attachment, like those, I'm not even thinking about these things. I kind of just sat down and was like, okay, what am I going to talk about today? Secure attachment. Interesting. I haven't thought about that in months. And that used to be the number one goal of my own personal development for so long. I didn't want to have these insecurities. I didn't want to have these fears block me all the time, and these weird ways in which I was overextending myself, or even I was avoidant at times too, right? And I just wanted to be secure. I just wanted to let it be in peace, enjoy, just be in love. There's nowhere to go. All those fears and stuff. I just wanted them to go away. And I was trying IFS. I was trying somatics. I was trying healing my mother wounds, healing my father wounds, forgiving people from my past. And it made some progress. But it just all got wiped away and nullified through my relationship with God. So what is your relationship like with God? Because if you're still anxiously attached or codependent, you might have been like where I was, where you're placing love and intimate relationship above God in terms of your priority, and that your intimate partner, or the pursuit of an intimate partner, is above God. And that ain't gonna fly. That ain't gonna work. When I realized that, my entire love life completely revolutionized. I don't know how else to put it. Because for the longest time, I just love. I'm the heart guy. This is what I do. And it was above God, and that had to fall. So anything that's above God is going to cause you torment if you don't shift it and put God at the forefront of your life. And you won't even realize it's torment. You're just going to realize, oh, it's this one wound, and when I heal this wound, then I'll be good. You can play that game if you want. I went down that path for 10 years, and it didn't end. It ended when I played a different game and put God as number one in my life. And I stopped trying to pursue external validation, especially from women. And I fully devoted myself to God and to that relationship. And now my love life is extremely fulfilling. And secure. So if this helped y'all at all, please let me know in the comments. If you got questions, let me know. Please subscribe. I got many more videos coming very, very soon. This has been a pleasure of mine to see how much y'all been enjoying these videos. And there's so much more coming too, because this is just me yapping my yapper. I've got an app on the way. I've got a book on the way. I've got a course on the way, a mastermind, a signature offer. There's a lot coming to actually guide y'all in some of these things. So if you want to inquire about that as well, DM me on Instagram, because doors are open for my one of my courses. Well, they'll be open tomorrow, and I'm very excited about that. I'll share more later. But inquire through DM on Instagram. I love you, and I'll see you soon. Peace.